You know that feeling that you have when something has gone wrong and you just can't shake it? Well, today on Life's Potluck Buffet, we're going to ask the cards about some tips for when that happens and what we can do. So stick around for today's episode of Life's Potluck Buffet. I'm John Paulas. Thanks for joining me. The question for today is what to do when something went wrong. All right, that's the question for the cards. I'll shuffle them. Okay, doing 3 times the casual shuffle. Should make a video called the casual shuffle. Does anybody remember the Super Bowl shuffle? The Chicago Bears thing back in from 85? That was something. I think it was 85. All my friends in Chicago will know exactly when it came out. All right. So, here we go. I am about to cut the deck where I think the answer is. I always look for the gap in the cards. All right, here we go. Oh, this is a great one. Thank you, cards. I always get a little nervous, truth be told. No, okay, well, I won't. Just don't let the cards, don't listen. I get a little nervous because I'm like, is the card I'm going to draw going to be so unconnected or disconnected from the question that I'm going to just be like, I don't know what to do. So far, that has not happened. And I think it's because the cards are magic, obviously. But today is a great, great solution. And it's actually my solution for when things go wrong. And so I'm going to share it with you. And I'm going to read the card out. So it's card number 40. Try to see yourself with others' eyes. Think of your own story as a history based solely on others' grateful words about your work and your interactions with them. What good things are you saying about yourself? Consider the specific words people said about you and the actions that you did that caused their gratitude and say them out loud. So that is a really excellent, thank you cards, a really excellent thought for the question of the day. Why? Well, because I find, in my experience, and in many people I've talked to, that about this very issue, is that when something goes wrong, you enter, and tell me if this is accurate for you. You enter this kind of bubble of kind of self interrogation where you kind of get wrapped up inside yourself like this, like everybody, as if everybody is seeing you at your worst because something went wrong, and you blame yourself. Sometimes you blame others, but it really creates this big disturbance in the force. This this big disturbance where you are no longer looking at yourself in a I don't want to say objective way, because obviously that's not really possible. We can't step outside of ourselves, even if we watch ourselves on a video or listen to a recording of ourselves, as I do quite frequently. You can't really step outside yourself fully enough to say, oh, okay, now I see myself as others see me. Thinking about the fact that other people are going through the same thing when they feel something goes wrong and you don't, what do? Do you say, do you reinforce it with them? Someone says, oh, this thing went really wrong. I don't know, I'm feeling really bad about it. And do you say, oh, okay, Yeah, that's terrible. You suck. No, you don't, of course, right? You have empathy because you've been there before, you know? And that kind of idea that someone else is going to look at your, say, misfortune, or it might be something that didn't even go wrong. It's just your perception of it. But people are going to look at your perception of it as being skewed towards the negative when something goes wrong, and you kind of harbor that. There are very, 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 very few things in life that are truly the big deals that we make of small things. And this speaks to another card as well, which is making big things out of little things and little things out of big things. Our perception of the size and importance of various misfortunes that befall us in our minds or in our perception of them are skewed by the fact that we're experiencing them. So we tend to multiply the effect of, oh, did this thing, I said this thing, um, this thing didn't go right, this thing didn't go wrong, and we take full responsibility for it and blow it up to its biggest possible size. That's not uncommon. I've seen that over and over again. Not with just myself, but lots of other people too. So I hope that if you're one of those people who shares that with me and us, who I'm talking about, then I think that might be helpful. The other thing that might be helpful might be the idea that understanding that everything we do is only partly our doing, and everything that happens to us in this respect, there are a lot of other factors involved, and it's not just about us. So once we can create that distance, and this is really what all three of these things are talking about. The first thing is to create that, I'll call it objective distance, that says, I just looking at this as like a really big thing that I did, and something really went wrong because it's me that did it. So that's number one. That's looking out for that, the subjective nature of your perception, that you're going to say, oh, it's because it's me that did it. Therefore, I'm going to make this, amplify this. And then the amplification, how much are you amplifying it? Probably if you did step one, then step two, you're probably doing it, um, a lot more than just a little bit, right? So the over amplification of it. So first of all, so then we have that kind of the subjectification of it, saying it's all about me, then the over amplification of it, and then finally, and this ties into both of those, is understanding your existence in the world. And our existence in the world is such that we don't have control over everything, or, frankly, a lot of things. I think we take too much credit, and this goes to the first point, for, in a sense, being in control of things that we do, that happen, and so forth, in a way that is kind of overextends our control over the world around us. And, that makes sense to me. I think it makes sense why we would do that. But when something goes wrong and you're like, oh man, you're getting that feeling like the whole world's turning inside, when something goes wrong, remember those three things and think about them, because it may be just the thing you need to help you make things right for yourself. I hope everything goes right for you today, and when things go wrong, that you're able to get them right fast. So I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow on Life's Potluck Buffet.